in the meantime, if you have any questions, by all means, ask me.
Well, my first question is, how much is too much to pay Facebook?
Oh, that depends. It is really a matter of understanding, starting from the end, and
Yes.
understanding what are your goals, and work backwards from there. So there are so many elements that help us to be successful with Facebook ads, but at the same time, Facebook ads, it's only a part of the puzzle. There is so much more. We need a social media presence, like on Facebook especially. We need a presence for our possible clients to find us.
Yes.
And that's not only to do with brand awareness, but it helps the algorithm. It helps us to, when you have an engaged audience on your Facebook page, your cost, your Facebook ads cost is lower. So Facebook is looking at that as well. But also the landing pages where you have your website and your products available for sale. Are they optimized? Are they easy to upload? Do they need a bit more kind of jazzing up a bit the copy or the images? So there are extremely, there are a lot of elements that we need to have in place before even starting Facebook ads.
Yes.
So,
Well, I suppose it depends on the size of your business and your budget, you know.
it does. So we are talking about e-commerce, isn't it?
That's right.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So when we are looking at e-commerce, we are looking at what are our sales goals? How many items do we want to sell in using Facebook ads? And Facebook ads are it's like when you think about your clients, where are they? They will be most probably on Facebook, but they will not search for your products. You need to understand where your client is in the customer journey, whether they know of you and your products, and then with Facebook ads, you kind of take that and warm up the audience, and you take them through the stages that you have available with Facebook ads. So looking at the things that I was looking at, what is the most important thing when it comes to Facebook ads. It's all about customer journey, having a strategy in place and mapping up your funnel, setting up tracking in advance, and then split test ads. Because if I, for example, see an ad or see some copy or images and say this will work best, that's not to say that it will work best, because I'm not your audience. Your audience will dictate that. So very important element when you run Facebook ads, whether it's e-commerce, lead generation, or launches, is testing your audience, testing your copy, and testing your images as well. So let's dive in. Have a quick introduction. I'm Loredana. I'm a Facebook ads strategist and agency owner. I'm an unconventional mom of one, and I'm very well known in the local coffee shops. And I help entrepreneurs and small business owners, as well as coaches and course creators, to outsmart their competition, influence and communicate better online, but also get more clients using Facebook ads. So why Facebook ads? As I mentioned, you as a advertiser for an e-commerce company, you have the option to use Google AdWords, and you can use Pinterest. Twitter and LinkedIn, they will not necessarily work for e-commerce, but I think primarily Google AdWords and Facebook are very successful when it comes to e-commerce. So as I mentioned, Google AdWords will help you find new customers, but with Facebook you can get new customers to find you by looking at what exactly do they need and tapping into those pain points maybe or desires. Facebook ads are actually very powerfully from a visual point of view, and the audience, the targeting is the best on the market so far across all other social media platforms. So, for example, if you are just starting up and you want to advertise your product and put that product in front of your audience, you will be able to have the opportunity to, for example, let's take a yoga a clothing company. You have the opportunity to get in front of people that are interested in meditation, in different types of yoga, in Pilates, and then Facebook will find those audiences and will put your ad in front of those audiences. So this is how deep Facebook targeting goes. As I mentioned at the beginning, you really need to understand the customer journey. Who are they? Are they cold audiences? They never heard of you? Are they warm audiences? Have they visited your website before? Are they hot audiences? Have they added actually anything to their cart? Or are they loyal customers, customers that have bought time and time again from you? So understanding that, it will help you strategize and target each of your audiences at the where they are with the copy and with the visuals that you have. So, for example, when you have someone that just left your added something to the cart and left the cart open, you can just retarget those people, reminding them, hey, we still have your product here, go and check out. So they just they are reminded that they haven't finalized the purchase. When it comes to e-commerce strategy, as I mentioned, you need to really look at your goals. What are your sales goals? How many items do you want to sell a day, a week, a month? So that will determine your budget, because, for example, if it will cost me £3 to sell something to sell one product on Facebook, and if I want to have 100 of these products sold every day, then it's a very straight forward, and my budget needs to be £300 a day. And when you just start, you don't have that information, so you don't know how much it will cost to, how much do you have to spend to advertise your products on Facebook. So just looking at what others are doing and looking at trends in the industry will be helpful to, and will tell you exactly what is the amount that you need to keep in mind. And if it's too expensive for you and if you are not breaking even, then look at what's not working. And for e-commerce, there are some exciting objectives, like you can really get very creative and have conversion ads, video content, and catalog sales as objectives when you run ads to sell your product. As testing, use different targets, so audiences, images and videos, and also remember that retargeting is key. So people that visited your website can be and they didn't take any action. You can easily retarget those with further content that will entice them to buy from you. And it's all about, on Facebook, it's all about measuring and tweaking. What worked last month may not work this month, or it may work better. So looking at the trends and looking at what has worked in the past and do more of that. Any questions so far?
Go ahead.
No, I was looking to go further and talk about funnels for e-commerce.
Okay, if anybody wants to type in questions in the chat as she goes along, and then as you know, as the questions come up in your mind, you can either write them down or type them into the chat and we can go through them at the end. Or if you want to ask anything now, as there's a little pause in the presentation, anything. I mean, so far it's looking to me like it's a lot of good technical terms for us to become familiar with in there, that previous slide. So it's really useful for us so far. You know, when you just said £200 a day, whew, yeah, that sounds like a lot. And it's also a good roundup for our, you know, the points that you're presenting so far is covering so many different aspects of our entire course that is perfect for our last seminar. So it's great. Keep going. Thank you, Loredana.
Excellent. No worries. You have to tell me when I have to finish, because I have 22 slides and I tend to speak a lot when it comes to Facebook.
You can imagine. So, I know what you're like. All right. Okay. But let's see how you go until, I don't know, 1:30, and then I'll see how it's going.
Excellent. Yes, sounds good. Okay. Yeah. So marking up your funnel. So you have your website. You have set up your website for your company where you have different products. So the next step is to bring traffic to your website. And as we are talking about Facebook ads, this is a typical straightforward funnel where you have an ad going to your landing page and having a thank you page. As you can see, the ad talks about the product that is on the landing page, because and it needs to be quite similar to what you are trying to sell. And I will show you some. I have some examples from different companies where you can see that what they are trying to sell, it's matching what they have on the website. So that is very important. And this is quite technical, and this is very much like Facebook talk. And if you haven't seen Facebook Ads Manager before, it might seem very alien, but you'll have a copy of this presentation. Caroline can share it with you. And I guess it's a matter of trying and testing for yourself. So product catalogs are very good for large stores, and you can definitely, as you can see here, you have under conversions. You have the second option is catalog sales, and this is where you'll need to have a catalog set up first. And what it does is with dynamic content, it's when we have a catalog of different products, Facebook will put in front of our audience those products that are more likely to be liked by our audience. So that's quite good. With e-commerce, as with any business, tracking is extremely important, because we may have an amazing funnel, an amazing business, but if we don't track those visitors to the website through Facebook and Google Analytics as well, we will not be able to retarget those. So we have the pixel, which is a piece of code which you take from your Facebook Ad Business Manager and install on your website. And you have standard events, custom conversions, And with Google Analytics, the tracking can be done through UTM links and Google Goals, which is a bit more advanced. But remember, in any job you will go, tracking is extremely important. So we're talking about split testing ads. When you go to Facebook, I can actually demonstrate that in Ads Manager if we have time, Carlin. So when you set up your Facebook page and then Business Manager, which hosts your page as well as your ad account, Ad Manager, under business settings, you'll find out who is, you'll find out the Facebook pixel, which is, as I mentioned, a piece of code unique to your Facebook page and Ads Manager, which you just copy and paste in the, you can use plugins depending on what platform you are using. Shopify, you can integrate that with your platform. So when you are going to Facebook and you want to set up a campaign, this is how things are looking. So you are looking at a campaign where you name and advise Facebook what you would like to do, what kind of objective you want to have, and under each, and then you have ad sets where you can set up the audience, and then the ads, you have the copy and the image. So this is how you test. You have an audience, and then you test 2 images. You have a second audience, test 2 images, another audience, another ad set for a third audience, and you test 2 to 6 images. Keep it as simple as possible, because if you don't have a budget large enough to cover this, if you, for example, if we have only £20 and I have 6 images under each ad set, or I have more audiences, Facebook, I won't be able to see much return on my test. So you need to be careful and not give too much to Facebook. Keep things simple and test. If you have more than 3 audiences, test three at a time. No more than that. And when you finish your test, you'll just need to find the best audience with split testing, as I mentioned earlier. So you can see here that, for example, the cost per result for the bottom ad set is £51, which is, as you can see, the campaigns, the last 2 campaigns have been off because the results were too expensive. And this is what I mean by split testing. When you do that, and you have different audiences, you will be able to tell which is the best performing audience. And in our example, this is quite good. We have 6 results at $12 per purchase. Whether here we have 9, but the price is double. So you will be able to, when you test, you'll be able to see what works best for you and carry on and put more budget towards those audiences. Another element which is quite technical for Facebook, it's custom audiences. So you have interest-based audiences and you have custom audiences, which are website visitors. You have email subscribers. So if you have, and that goes for any type of advertising on Facebook, and you have, you can retarget those people that have engaged with you on Facebook or Instagram, and you have your purchases. So that audience is very powerful, because when you have and you create a custom audience based on your list of people that purchase from you, what you can do, you can create a lookalike audience, which Facebook will find those lookalike audiences, but those people that are looking exactly as your purchases are more inclined to buy from you. So those audiences are very powerful. And then we have a bit more advanced, which I personally haven't used before, where you have audience of multiple purchases if you have available with your business. When we work with small businesses, they tend not to have that much data, so you will have to start from scratch and see how that works. Going back for a second, those website visitors will be kind of tagged only when you have a Facebook pixel installed, and if you don't have any ads going to your website, all the website visitors will be tagged if that person has the Facebook app opened at the same time. So if you don't run ads to your website, whether you have traffic or conversions, that it's really hard to build a website visitor audience. This audience in general are quite small, so in comparison with interest-based audiences where you have millions of people in your audience, this will be like they will be maybe 1,000, 2,000, sometimes up to 500,000 when we start creating those lookalike audiences based on these custom audiences. So keep that in mind. So when you have a small audience, then for example, if we were to take a business in Ealing that wants to sell only to Ealing, then you will just use the postcode W5, W13, all the postcodes that are in Ealing borough, and target those. So for that, because the audience is quite small, you will not need a big budget for that. So as I mentioned, those custom audiences are quite small, so you can get and combine these audiences like emails, traffic, messenger audiences, messenger audience as well. So you can combine them so you have a bigger estimated, so you can see potentially reach 23,000 people. The types of ads that you can run for e-commerce, as I mentioned, they are traffic, conversions, and catalog sales. So I went from bottom to top. So conversions ads are the most powerful because Facebook is bringing those people that have bought on Facebook before, but these are the most expensive ones. So there is an add to cart as well. And as I mentioned about catalog sales, those are two. Yeah. So at each step of the funnel, you have different ads. So with top of funnel, we are selecting those people that are more likely to engage with our content, and you can do video ads or awareness, brand awareness ads. You can have product demo, and at this stage we need a large, wide audience. So we are looking at bringing those people that have different interests which are related to our brand. The middle of funnel is quite big still. It's you can use some retargeting, and image ads and video or testimonials are extremely important. And then bottom of funnel is that whole hot audience where you people have engaged with you, they have visited your website, and you just need to retarget them to give them another nudge to come back and buy from you. So as I mentioned, there are some the ad formats that you can use. So there are, if we have images like the one on the right-hand side, We have video, so you can see these three bottom ads are a video, and you also have a carousel. And I think I have an example. Yeah, next slide. So, sorry, this is not a carousel. Bear with me just 1 second. This here. It's a carousel. If you can see it, and it's top right of the screen. So this is a carousel. This is another carousel. And as I was mentioning, this is an example of testing images. So you can see the copy here is very short and it's the same, but the images are different. The headlines are different as well. So when you test, my advice will be to test one element at a time. So you either test images and everything else is the same, or you test headlines, everything is the same, or you test copy and everything else is the same. But I just wanted to give you just a kind of a taste of what testing looks like. As I mentioned, these are a carousel, you have videos, and going back, we have, so in general with e-commerce, I think clients have been used to buy only when there is a sale. So enticing people to join, for example, a flower subscription, which is not very cheap, I guess. I don't know. It's about 24 pounds per delivery for a bouquet every week. So they just, Freddy Flowers just retargeted me to go back to them and join for 50 pounds off for the first 2 boxes. So discounts are working very well as well. This is an example. Special discounts can move the needles, and it's obviously we don't want to discount too much, but we when we are new to the market and we're just starting out, maybe we can include that, we can think about and have this as a strategy, or have a launch that has something enticing, a gift for those first 1,000 clients. I wanted to include these 2 ads here because these are the example of retargeting those people that have left the cart. They added the product to the cart, but they didn't finish the purchase. So Lululemon has a good way of kind of retargeting those people, and this is on the left hand side. You can, oh, sorry, on the right hand side you can see the copy, and here is retargeting for someone who received a gift card, and just a reminder to use that gift card. And these are the images and the video that I have mentioned. So in a nutshell, Facebook ads, whether it's for e-commerce or any lead generation, launching, it's all about testing, starting with the end in mind and thinking about what we are trying to achieve, and figuring out all the steps backwards. So, do we have any questions?
Would anybody like to go before me? Anybody has questions you'd like to ask before I say anything? Amina or Mohammed, you can just ask it, or if you prefer to type it. All right, I mean, it's fine. Anything from you, Mohammed? That was a lot of information that for me who okay, thanks, Mohammed. I've never claimed to know a thing about Facebook ads or, you know, paid advertising. I've spent a lot of time on, okay, that's useful. I've spent a
I'll
lot
tell you.
of time, you know, dealing with print advertising and, you know, traditional media advertising. So this is quite new to me. And the question that keeps coming up in my head over and over is that testing. So these are really good examples that you showed us. So the testing for me is okay, what's more effective, to change the text or to change the image? I'm guessing changing the image is more effective. But what if you,
So,
yeah.
so the first element that you need to test is the audience. I would start with your audience. So looking at what are your audience, interest-based audiences, and start from there. Once I decide I have established what audience works best for my current campaign, then I will go and test the images, and then I will go and test the copy. I would have about 500 pounds or dollars ad test at least. So you are testing for about 4 days, not more than that, for each of these elements. So I will just have a budget of 500 pounds. Sometimes this budget doesn't exist, so asking a small business to invest this amount of money, they will not have the budget. So I will, if the testing budget is not available, so what I will do, I will definitely test the audiences, because if you are just spending money on Facebook to send traffic to an audience that is not interested in what you are selling, you are wasting money. And then under each ad set, as I mentioned on in a slide, you have those you have the campaign, you have the ad sets, which your winning audiences, and under each audience you have the image and the copy. So I will just put money towards those audiences that are working for me, and then I will just look at and ask for conversion. So ask for money from them, ask them to buy, and I will look at images. What are the images that work best, without doing necessarily a test.
So when so when you're doing the testing, you do all three. So you do all three testing at the same time, or you do one, you measure it, you do the next one. How does it work?
Yes, you take it one by one. So I do the testing for audiences, I do the testing for images, and I do the testing for copy. So not all at the same time, but one after another.
Do you mind if I ask about your corporate work, if that's how they did it? Because I think I'm guessing that the businesses that you work with at Marketology are not going to be more would have less budget, if you don't mind me saying so. But I'm assuming that at your corporate job that you would have that they had a really big budget. Is that right to say?
So in my corporate job, I was working on the recruiting side. So I was the digital marketer for brand awareness, so enticing people to join our company. The budget, you'll be surprised, they were not huge. They were like, I think about for me, for experience hire, they were about £1,000 a month for experience hire on Facebook, and a bit higher on LinkedIn. With the clients that I'm working on now, and I'm focusing on launches and course launches, I have worked with clients that have a budget of £3,000 for the launch, which is about 5 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks,
Wow,
or
that is big.
£2,000. Yes, and
Yeah.
you really get and you see the results. So for a client that I had a £3,000 budget, I think she went from having 10 people on her course to about 30 people on this round, and I think we were close to 10x her. I think we went over 10. So she invested £3,000 in Facebook advertising, my fee, and then she made 40K from that launch alone. So
Wow.
the results are there. It's just that the problem when you have a small business that doesn't invest in their marketing, and I'm not talking only about Facebook advertising. As I mentioned, Google is very powerful for e-commerce as well. When they don't have that budget, then they are missing out. And if you have a small budget, it's not even worthwhile to spend your money. You are better off to try and do organic and use other elements. So it's kind of time versus money. What are you willing to invest? Are you willing to invest in a organic reach out, I don't know, in groups and PR, which are all helpful and work very well when you have advertising, paid advertising as well? Or are you willing to go full on spending money on ads? And we need to remember that organic is very important as well, but because, for example, if you put an ad in front of someone that doesn't know you and they check your Facebook, then and there is nothing there, then you kind of lost points in terms of brand awareness. So organic is very important as well.
So if a business doesn't have a huge budget, can they still do with boosted posts? What about is that any value to you, or you think that's just throwing away money, boosting a post?
It is throwing away money because you can still boost the post, but using Ads Manager. So rather than click the boost button, which I don't even know if it still exists, to be honest. You can boost it, and it's called you can boost it from Ads Manager. So instead of creating a new ad, you just click and choose a post that you have shared on your Facebook page, and that's counted as social proof. So I would encourage people to do that. It's just so when you think of Facebook, you have brand awareness, consideration, and conversion. Brand awareness, and the brand awareness, you have reach, amongst other things. Not amongst other things, I should not be general. Bear with me just 1 second. I will just open up my my Facebook. And then so reach and engagement, those are two under brand and awareness. Those are really good to establish social proof, and they are not very expensive. But with that, Facebook will only bring you people that are likely to click or to engage with someone's post. They will not bring you the buyers. When you do conversions and everything that is under conversion, like catalog sales and those ads, which are more expensive, are much more powerful because Facebook brings those people that have bought on Facebook before. So that's the difference.
So in other words, you can't sell unless you're having a sale, and then so you set up some kind of sale, some kind of promotion, and then you set up your Facebook ads. That's the best way to make it work.
If you are just starting out, that can be a useful and you get results much faster. If you have a sale on something that that you want to get rid of, not get rid of, but you want to put in front of your clients, definitely concentrate your budget on that, but also think of it long term, because if you are thinking only short term and what's happening this month with my Facebook ads, you are not really in for the long game. You are not kind of looking at the learnings that you have from these campaigns, and sometimes Facebook ads are not profitable, and then take those learnings and apply them next time when you run a campaign.
All right, probably last question for me. And Facebook overlapping with Instagram advertising, does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, Instagram is owned by Facebook. So when you advertise on Facebook, you are actually can advertise on Instagram. So you can choose that as an option as well.
And does it cost extra?
So the money, the budget, the day that you have will be distributed through those two platforms, and also there are two options. You can choose automatic placements that Facebook ads, which includes Facebook, Instagram, other audience networks, and online magazines, or you can choose to have manual placements where you choose Facebook and Instagram, or just Facebook or just Instagram. Sometimes you'll be surprised that when we think that our audience is on Instagram, actually our audience is buying on Facebook more than Instagram. So that's another element that you can add to your testing to choose to check which audience is which platform brings you best result, Instagram or Facebook.
Right. Well, now it's starting to make sense. All these businesses that take startup loans, and they or whatever loans the government is offering to get a business off to the start. Now it's starting to make sense, because I was never big on I don't like the idea of taking a loan, but if it means that you can invest in a Facebook business strategy, Facebook advertising strategy, and get your business off on a strong foot. And as you say, you're looking at the long term, so you're going to spread out that spend. You're going to try and get customers in who will turn into repeat customers. It makes sense, doesn't it?
Absolutely, definitely. And those companies are actually starting thinking about advertising before even they have their products defined. So it is extremely important to put our businesses in front of our ideal clients and get those sales.
Yeah, even if you're just starting with an introductory price, this is our launch price, this is our launch product or something.
Exactly. And even with brand awareness, so brand awareness goes a long way when you are just starting up. Having that social proof and likes and comments on your post will definitely help you boost your reputation in front of your ideal client. I was just saying that the links that I have shared, so Facebook ads has a library of everyone that is advertising on Facebook or in that particular time. So if you are looking now, you'll see most of the screenshots that I took from that library, just to make sure that they are relevant to the topic, to e-commerce. And also, if you are interested to enhance your knowledge in Facebook advertising, Facebook has a really good resource. It's called certification, and you can learn how to run Facebook ads and what is important with that link. What I would say, obviously, Facebook will sell their products and they will put their interest in front of people that learn. And if you find someone that does that and they're looking to, they're interested in teaching someone else how to do it, I would definitely go through an e-commerce agency and learn how to run Facebook ads from the experts.
Well, Loredana, I think you're an expert. You've definitely come across as an expert here today. I'm really appreciative of you taking the time. Where's the best place to connect with you? On social media, on LinkedIn? Where can we connect with you to find out, every blog you write, we can pick up something from you. I know you often programs that people can join in, get their foot in the door.
Yes. I think LinkedIn is the best place if you want to connect with me, and my website is going to launch 1st of February, so I have you can find me at loredanabaranga.com, and I will take everything that I'm going to create in the next couple of months is going to happen on loredanabaranga.com.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that. I think we're going to spend a little time just talking. But first of all, any other questions? Just or is that fine for everybody? Oh, good. All right.
Oh, good.
I think for me at least, I think I need to look at this again. And even though there are only 4 of us on the call, I have recorded this so the rest of the class can look at it and get the access to the information. And I will have to look at it again to make some more notes. So thanks again, Loredana. I really appreciate stepping in like this and rounding up our semester for us. What we are planning to do is maybe take a few minutes break and then come back and finish up. So if I can, I will let you go now and and keep in touch on Messenger, on email, social media.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. And if you have any questions, definitely reach out. And we'll be happy to go into more in depth if you want to have a go at Facebook with just doing things in Business Manager. I'm happy to jump in.
All right, that's great. That's great. All right, Loredana, we'll keep in touch.
Absolutely, yes. Have a fantastic rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.